Hi everyone, my name is Sim, and I'm here to talk to you about some of my story. I'm 11 years old and I'm in the 6th grade. My brother Zane and I are black belt candidates in karate, and we will be testing in June about a year ahead of schedule. We will walk out of that test with black belts on. We started Brazilian Jiu Jitsu last year in July, and we have already competed 3 times now, and one of those times was this morning. I really enjoy cooking and baking at home, and my collection of cookbooks is rapidly growing. I'm also a good dad to my 2 cats that I rescued from the shelter in 2009. Sisters I named Sasha and Sophie. I know boys my age don't normally have hair as long as mine and my brother Zane's, but we are both growing it out to donate, which we can do when it reaches 10 inches. I was inspired to grow my hair long enough to donate to Locks of Love, both by my cousin Brooke, who has been battling cancer for more than 3 years now, and my Uncle Daniel, who died of a brain tumor in 2010. School and instruction in 2 different martial arts disciplines keeps me busy for sure, but my family tries to keep very busy with other activities too. I'll tell you about some of the things I did the summer of last year, just to give you a bit of an idea of what we do to keep busy. I went to the Texas Lions Camp for kids with disabilities for a week, followed by a sightseeing mini vacation in Austin with my family. We took several trips to the libraries in both Frisco and Plano. We went to a Rough Riders game on one of those July days we had up here that was unexpectedly super cool. And we saw a Texas Rangers game on one of those sweltering, blistering, hot Texas days that we had in early December. I have to say the pool was a super welcome relief when we got home after that game. We went ice skating twice over the summer too, which was also a great break from the heat. The trip to see the Barnum and Bailey event, the circus, was amazing. Of course, we went to a favorite annual event, Dairy Queen's CMN Miracle Treat Day. Yum. We saw FC Dallas soccer games twice and went to enjoy Hawaiian Falls twice. A visit to the Children's Aquarium at Fair Park for the first time, where we got to feed stingrays, was a big favorite. I'm not 100% sure on the total, but I believe we figured out that we saw 15 movies in the theater last year. Wow. Those are some of the things we did all while I attended martial arts 5 or 6 times a week during the summer too. I am proud to be in the accelerated pace class and in honors math in school. And next year I will also be in honors science and honors language arts too. I hope that didn't bore you too much or make you feel tired just thinking about all of that activity. I did have a reason to tell you about a handful of the things I had been up to. The point is that I could do those things. So now I'll tell you a little bit about my diagnosis. In March of 2009, my mother spoke to me, and when I looked up at her, one of my eyes crossed. She watched it over time and asked me questions like if I felt like throwing up or if I had headaches. And I always told her everything was fine because it was. On one June night, my other eye crossed for the first time, and also for the first time that night, I made little hum sounds while she was talking. She asked why I was doing that, and my answer was that my throat must hurt. My mom knew then that I was going to be seen by my doctor rapidly. Our family doctor examined me and actually did not find anything wrong, but he knew my mom and trusted her instincts, so he ordered an MRI for me. As a 6-year-old needing to be still as a statue for more than an hour, they had to put me to sleep, which is scary. Shortly after it was done, I was brought into the recovery room to start being woken up from anesthesia. While I was in there, the radiologist came in and motioned my mother out of the room. My mom knew right then that she was correct in what she had thought was wrong with me. I had a brain tumor. I was admitted that night to Dallas Children's Medical Center. My tumor was caught before seizures or worse, so the doctors had decided that since I was stable, they would have me on steroids for several days before they went in to do a biopsy and to create a temporary drain for the fluid that was backed up in my head. fluid that caused my eyes to cross from pressure on my optic nerves and from my odd speech. Before we knew it, it was surgery morning already. I have some vague memories from the hectic recovery room, seeing first my dad and then my mom. After the biopsy, my medical team decided that my tumor was too big to treat just with chemotherapy, and that surgery was my only good option. After learning about the plan, we just settled into a long, quiet 6 weeks, resting at home with my amazing Winnie the Pooh. On August 6th, my parents were the first family in the surgery waiting room, and watched one family after another come and go until finally they were the last family in there waiting. When it was their turn to be called back, they both got to come see me together this time, but I did not see them. Because of what I had gone through all day, my little body decided what it needed most was sleep, and it refused to wake up even with them trying so hard to rouse me, so I was in ICU a bit longer than planned. I didn't start to stir until about a day after I was expected to be awake, and it took a few days for me to really shake it off and be present and accounted for. On the morning I checked out after the big surgery, I climbed into a little red wagon and was pulled down to the lobby of the hospital. While waiting with my mom for my dad to pull the car around, I was watching the kids and families coming in the door. I told my mom that when I grew up, I wanted to be a doctor to help kids like me. There I was, a 6-year-old boy in pain, unable to stand or walk without help, working on recovering from my second brain surgery in less than 2 months, and my thought was about helping others. We learned a few weeks after surgery that the tumor that was removed was actually a unique one and cannot be neatly classified. It was upgraded to a grade 2 tumor with grade 3 characteristics since it was not a quote-unquote traditional grade 1 juvenile pilocytic astrocytoma like they thought from my earlier biopsy. Since it cannot all safely be removed from my brainstem, I get regular MRIs and will always have to watch what is left. I am proud to add that for years now, I have done all of my MRIs wide awake, no anesthesia. If the tumor changes, I will immediately begin chemotherapy. June 18th of this year, I will reach the 5-year post-diagnosis milestone. Getting to that point with no changes in my tumor means I can truly consider myself in full remission. I already do, but that is a day we will celebrate. Just weeks after the big surgery, it was the first day of school. My surgeon only took my hair along the incision, but it was a long zigzag from one ear to the other. With my dark hair, it was a very obvious incision, so I went to school prepared. I had a 1-page speech ready so that I could talk to my second grade classmates about what had happened to me. I didn't want anyone to be afraid of me or be wondering why I would have to rest and sit out of PE and recess for a while. So we thought it was a good idea to just jump in on the first day of school and get it all out there. That was my first speech, and ever since then I have been fortunate to give speeches to several children's charities to help kids with illnesses of all kinds. I am much improved from the short-term memory problems I originally had. My balance is so much better than it was thanks largely to the martial arts classes I take. My brain processes all that I hear like your brains do. The difference now after 2 brain surgeries is that if I'm going to speak a reply or write an answer to a question that was asked out loud, it takes a little bit longer for my brain to process my answer. It is usually okay, but if it is in a new situation where I might be nervous, I might have a problem saying what I am thinking. Or in a timed test, I might have an issue if I try to rush. I have right-sided weakness post-surgery, so it can be that much more challenging to write my answer since I am right-handed. The right-sided weakness has affected my right eye too, so my focusing muscles don't work so well. The tumor had impacted my growth, slowing it down, so I will find out from my endocrinologist soon if I will start on growth hormone therapy, since my growth velocity has been behind for more than half my life now. I tire more easily, but you know what? Overall, I have nothing to complain about. 90 to to 95% of my tumor was removed. My issues post-surgeries are things I can manage, and the biggie is the obvious one. I'm here today with my family and enjoying my life. My doctors have the tools and knowledge to make the right choices for my care. And with the support of organizations like Children's Miracle Network, these hospitals have the necessary technology, facilities, and funding for needed pediatric research, allowing more and more patients to get the great outcome I've been lucky enough to have. I was so honored when I heard 2 years ago that I had been chosen to represent the state of Texas as the 2012 Texas Champion for Children's Miracle Network. You wouldn't believe how inspiring it was for me to be around the champions from all the states when we traveled to Washington, D.C. and Orlando, Florida. To this day, I am still in awe of those amazing kids and families. All those kids were such an inspiration. Several of the CMN champions also participate in dance marathons across the United States. And it has always looked like so much fun to me, so I am thrilled you guys are working hard to put one together to help CMN. If me and other kids like me can champion causes to help others, even when we are navigating our medical challenges, then anyone can, just like what you are doing right now. Fundraising for Children's Miracle Network helps real kids just like me. Be proud of your efforts and know without a doubt that what you do is appreciated and really does make a difference. Thank you for your patience in allowing me to take you on this journey. And get ready to put your dancing shoes on, and as Lady Gaga says, just dance.
Can I get another round of applause? Now, it may be a rumor, but I've heard that you might be willing to show off some of your sweet moves. All right, so if you guys want to give another round of applause. And you guys just take it away. Let me know what you need.
Alright, that's all I'm not. Oh, thanks. This is my brother, Zane, right here. And I guess we're gonna show a few moves, okay? Please don't be a submissive. Are we actually grappling? Oh. Didn't intend to do that.